New Zealand, a place often described as paradise on Earth, with its mountains, valleys, and endless coastlines. With only 5.3 million people, New Zealand is one of the most beautiful and remote countries on Earth. Its people enjoy a high standard of living, stable government, clean cities, and a strong sense of community. But behind this picture-perfect landscape lies a hidden crisis, a country that its own citizens are quietly leaving. Every year, thousands of New Zealanders board one-way flights to Australia, searching for better opportunities. In 2024 alone, New Zealand lost over 47,000 citizens, the largest net loss ever recorded. Most head across the Tasman Sea to Australia, a short flight that has changed thousands of lives. Over 10% of all New Zealand-born people now live in Australia. This is not a refugee crisis, it's a migration driven by economics and opportunity. A wealthy, peaceful nation losing its future generation. This is the paradox of New Zealand today. To understand why people are leaving, we must start with geography, because isolation shapes everything. New Zealand is one of the most remote countries on Earth, over 2,000 kilometers from its nearest neighbor. This isolation is both a blessing and a curse, protecting the nation, but limiting its industries. New Zealand's total population equals that of Sydney alone. Scale itself has become the limitation. GDP per capita is strong, but productivity lags nearly 20% behind the OECD average. Much of the economy depends on things that can't easily scale, like agriculture and housing. Agriculture remains the backbone of New Zealand, producing food for 40 million people worldwide. These farms are highly mechanized, efficient, and employ far fewer people than before. So where does the money go instead? Into housing, the true engine of the New Zealand economy. Real estate now accounts for nearly half of the country's economic output. New Zealand's median house price has hit around $770,000 in 2025, and over $1 million in Auckland. That makes it one of the least affordable housing markets in the world when compared to income. Young Kiwis can barely buy homes, and many struggle even to rent in their own cities. The government tried banning foreign buyers in 2018, but prices barely moved. Before the ban, foreigners were only 3% of buyers, and Australians were exempt anyway. Wealthy Australians keep buying lake houses and holiday homes in Queenstown and Auckland. It's tax efficient too. New Zealand doesn't charge stamp duty on property like Australia does. But even with these policies, prices remain among the world's highest and continue to shape the economy. So the economy keeps circulating around land and property, leaving few other industries to drive growth. This dependency on housing creates a fragile economy, a bubble where wealth exists only on paper. When housing becomes an investment instead of a home, people begin to look elsewhere for a future. In 2024, more than 127,000 people left New Zealand long-term, a record number in modern history. Of those departing, around half headed for Australia, drawn by higher wages and bigger industries. Meet Emma Williams, an engineer from Christchurch who packed her life into 2 suitcases and moved to Brisbane. Her salary doubled overnight, but the move wasn't about money, it was about opportunity. Stories like Emma's reflect a larger pattern, the flight of New Zealand's young, educated professionals. Australia's average full-time salary is around $98,000 a year, versus $75,000 in New Zealand. Even after cost of living differences, Australians keep more money in their pockets each month. University students follow too. Australia's larger campuses offer more courses and research funding. Under the Trans-Tasman Travel Arrangement, Kiwis study and work in Australia like locals. Half of some Australian medical school cohorts are now students from New Zealand. The cultural transition is effortless, same language, humor, and shared values. For many young people, moving to Sydney feels easier than moving to another city inside New Zealand. This is a unique brain drain, one rich country losing its talent directly to another. And it's possible because New Zealand and Australia share one of the world's closest political ties. Today, over 600,000 New Zealand-born people live in Australia, more than 10% of the nation's population. Meanwhile, only about 90,000 Australians live in New Zealand, most of them retirees or investors. The migration is one way in productivity: the young go west, the wealthy come east. Ask any Kiwi in Sydney what they miss most. They'll say family, mountains, and the quiet pace of home. Most plan to return someday, but only after building careers and savings abroad. By then, New Zealand has already lost its most productive years. To fill the gaps, the country turns increasingly to immigration. In 2024 alone, more than 200,000 new residents arrived, mainly from Asia and the Pacific. But many of them also moved to Australia once they gain residency, using New Zealand as a stepping stone. That's why some call New Zealand Australia's immigration backdoor. A migrant from Bangladesh summed it up: "You come here for a visa, but the dream job is across the Tasman." Economist Brad Olson explains it simply: Australia is doing better, bigger markets, higher pay, stronger links. The result is a demographic imbalance, an aging population and a shrinking youth base. By 2035, 1 in 5 New Zealanders will be over 65. An aging nation means higher healthcare costs, fewer workers, and slower growth, a quiet economic erosion. Small towns are already feeling it: schools merging, classrooms half empty, futures uncertain. In Auckland, labor shortages hit construction and healthcare as young workers move away. The government spends billions training professionals who leave before giving back in taxes. Prime Minister Chris Luxon admits, "We can't stop people leaving, but we can make staying rewarding." Making staying worthwhile means fixing the roots: productivity, wages, and housing. Fortunately, New Zealand's debt to GDP ratio is just about 31%, giving fiscal room for change. The question is, where should that investment go? Experts suggest diversifying beyond agriculture, into tech, biotech, and renewables. Housing reform remains urgent, building affordable homes and curbing speculation. Education and R&D could help graduates stay, giving them reasons to build careers at home. Upgrading infrastructure, from broadband to regional rail, could reconnect the nation. Each step needs courage: political, economic, and social. But the country still holds a rare advantage: it's safe, stable, and stunningly beautiful. That brand of paradise still attracts billionaires and retirees from around the world. But paradise alone isn't enough to keep a nation alive. Opportunity is what makes people stay. Every year, some do come back: older couples, families, and professionals drawn home by memory and peace. They return to retire by the lakes, to raise children, or to start something new. Some bring back years of experience and capital, eager to give back to their communities. Others come home to launch startups in tech, tourism, and sustainability. Their return brings new skills, global connections, and fresh ambition. They infuse energy into local industries, from software to green farming. One returning software developer from Melbourne puts it simply: success feels better when you can see the mountains again, because at its core, New Zealand's challenge was never geography, it was scale. And while scale can't change overnight, ambition can. These returnees prove that leaving was never the end, it was preparation for coming back stronger. They carry stories from across the world, bridging New Zealand to global networks. The challenge now is turning those stories into policies that make staying home worthwhile. Because no government can stop ambition, but it can make home a place worth building in. The country's future may lie not in keeping everyone in, but in drawing them back again. Because sometimes, leaving home is how you truly learn why it's worth returning to. New Zealand may be small, but it is far from powerless. Its brand, clean, ethical, and safe, is one of the most valuable in the world. If that identity fuels green innovation, digital technology, and sustainable tourism, it can redefine prosperity. The world already admires New Zealand for what it has, now it must lead for what it creates. Look at nations like Denmark, Finland, and Singapore, small, yet globally influential through innovation. Their secret? Turning limitations into focus, and focus into power. New Zealand can do the same, harness its strengths, nurture talent, and open to ideas. But first, it must face one truth: a paradise that people keep leaving is not sustainable. The mountains, the lakes, the peace, they make life worth living. But opportunity is what makes people stay. Because a nation's strength isn't measured by who leaves, but by who chooses to return.